Fractions with unlike denominators. Adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. So the first thing we're going to do is warm up with finding the least common multiple. You're familiar with finding the least common multiple? For review, give me someone tell me what the least common multiple is. Angel.
We would find all the multiples of the two numbers and try the common multiple between both of them. That's the least.
So for example, 5 and 10, what would you do to find the least common multiple of 5 and 10?
We would find the multiples of 5, it would be like 5 and 10, and then we would already know that 10 and 10, so you would still go to 10 and 10, and that would be your least common multiple.
Okay, good. So I'll give you a few minutes to warm up with finding the least common multiple, and then we will move into finding how to add and subtract with unlike denominators. So we're going to add and subtract factors with unlike denominators, meaning the denominators are not the same. And as we know from 4th and 5th grade, you cannot add and subtract fractions that do not have the same denominators. So we're going to use the same process as we used when we were talking about the least common multiple. And as Angel Sapita mentioned, the least common multiple in the example that you used with 5 and 10. So that we're going to use the same process as the least common multiple when we find the common or the least common denominator for fractions when we add them or subtract them. So let me give you an example. Let's say we want to add 1/3 plus 1/2 plus 3/4. 1/3 plus 1/2 plus 3/4. Can I add those fractions the way they are?
No.
No, I can't add these fractions the way they are because the denominators are different. They are not the same. So the first thing I need to do is I need to rewrite the fractions with a common denominator. So what number can I use that can be divided by 3 and can be divided by 2 and can be divided by 4 evenly with nothing left over? Nicole.
12.
12. 12 divided by 4 is an even number, no remainder. 12 can be divided by 2 with no remainder, and 12 can be divided by 3 with no remainder. Let me use a different color. So the first step we do is we need to rewrite the fraction. What do I do next after I rewrite the fraction? Step 2. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the denominators. Multiply denominator. So 3 times what equals 12? 3 times what equals 12? Bless you. 1.
4.
3 times 4 equals 12. Whatever I put on the bottom, I have to put on the top. 2 times what equals 12? Jonah.
6.
2 times 6 equals 12. Whatever I put on the bottom, I have to put on the top. And 4 times what equals 12? Malia?
3.
4 times 3 equals 12. Whatever I put on the bottom, I have to put on the top. So step number 2 was to multiply the denominator. Step number 3, multiply the numerator. In this case, for 1/3, 1 times 4 equals what?
4.
1 times 4 equals 4. 1 times 6 equals what?
6.
6. 3 times 3 equals
9.
9. Now I can add 4/12 plus 6/12 plus 9/12 because they all have the same denominator. 1/3 is the equivalent of 4/12. This is just simplified. 1/2 is equivalent to 6/12. This is just simplified. 3/4 is equivalent to 9/12. This is just simplified. Now I can add my fractions. So that's going to be step 4. Add. Four 12s plus 6/12 plus 9/12 equals 4 plus 6 is 10 plus 9 is 19/12. But I remember from my web acronym that I need to write the problem. I did that. Explain my problem. I did that. And the last box, your final answer. So this is not my final answer. I've got to simplify that. So how do I do that?
Divide it.
Perfect. 12 goes into 19 one time. 1 times 12? 12. 19 take away 12 is 7. So my answer is 1 and 7 12. Wonderful. Let's do another one. Let's do a word problem this time. I'm going to go to page 206. The Santoso family went hiking at a state park near their home. They hiked 3 trails. One is 5/8 of a mile, 5/8 of a mile, 1/6 of a mile, and 3/4 of a mile. How far did they hike in all? Can I add these fractions the way they are written?
No.
No, why not? One? Because they have unlike denominators. So step 1 is to first get the denominator. So what number can I divide 8, 6, and 4 by evenly with no remainder? Right?
24.
4. Step 1 was rewrite. Step 2, common denominator, multiply. Multiply. Multiply the denominator. So let's multiply. 8 times what equals 24? Rebecca.
3.
8 times 3 equals 24. Whatever I do on the bottom, I have to do on the top. How about 1/6? 6 times what equals 24? Brian.
4.
6 times 4 equals 24. Whatever I do to the bottom, I need to do to the top. And how about 3/4? 4 times what equals 24, Malin?
6.
4 times 6 equals 24. Whatever I do to the bottom, I need to do to the top. Step 3, multiply the numerator. So 5 times 3 equals what?
15.
Who said that? Jonah, 15? 1 times 4 equals what? Brian?
4.
4. 3 times 6 equals what? 1?
18.
3 times 6 equals 18. Now, can I add these fractions together?
Yes.
Absolutely. So let's do it. Oh, step 4. Add. So now I have 15 24ths plus 4 24ths plus 18 24ths. 37? Is that 37?
37.
Check my math. 37 24ths. So let's go back to the question, because remember our web acronym. Write the problem, explain the problem, box your final answer. We did not answer the question yet, which asks, how far did they hike? This doesn't really tell us how far they hiked. So we have to take it the last step. 24 divided, 37 divided by 24. So 24 goes into 37 how many times? 1 time. 1 times 24 is 24.
13.
37 take away 24 is 13. So now I have an answer of 1 and 13 24ths. So I'm going to box my answer. How far did they hike? They hiked 1 mile and 13 24ths. Give me a thumbs up if you're with me so far. Thumbs down if you're not. Seven eighths take away 2/3. Can I subtract the way this is written? No, because the two denominators are different. So the first step I need to do, step 1, rewrite the fraction. What number can be divided by both 8 and 3? Malin.
24.
24. 24 again. Step 2. Multiply the denominators. So 8 times what equals 24? Jubilee.
3.
8 times 3 equals 24. Whatever I do on the bottom, I need to do on the top. Wonderful. And 3 times what equals 24? Jonathan.
8.
3 times 8 equals 24. Whatever I do on the bottom, I need to do on the top. 7/8? Well, let's do this first. Multiply the numerator. Step 3. Multiply numerator. 7 times 3 equals what?
21.
2 times 8 equals what? Rebecca?
16.
16. Now, I've got common denominators. Can I subtract these two fractions?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So step number 4 is subtract. (21 24) take away 16 24. What do I get?
You get
5 24. And don't forget to find box your answer. This over here, this was not simplified. And you need to simplify your answer to the simplest form. 37 is larger than 24. So this is not simplified, so we had to divide the denominator into the numerator. Over here, the numerator is smaller than the denominator, so we don't need to divide. Good question. Give me a thumbs down if you're not with me. So let's do some more. I'll let you work on your own. What I want you to do on your piece of paper is I want you to finish number 2, 4, sorry,
2, 4, 6, 6.
that's not it. Yes, it is. 2, 4, 8, 10, and 19.
Can you write it on the board?
Yes. 2, 4, 8, 10, and 19.
Thank you. That's our homework.
Nope, classwork. 2, 4, 8.
And then, can I do it on another paper? Because this paper's for help.
Oh, okay.
I did a
Thank you. You may release. So how do you add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators? What's the first step you do? Michelle? Nicole?
Rewrite the fraction.
Rewrite the fraction. That's the first thing you do. What's the next thing you do? Step 2. Jonathan?
Multiply the denominator.
Multiply the denominator. Step 3. Evan?
Multiply the numerator.
Multiply the numerator. Step 4. Angel?
If you're adding, then you have to add. If you're subtracting, you subtract.
Wonderful. So the homework for tonight is going to be on Echo, which is page 208, numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. So please write that in your planner, and it will be due tomorrow. Oh, actually, it'll be due Monday.
Oh, that's tomorrow. Okay.
Monday.